So hey, Wade the Grandstreeter here, and today we are going to take a look at bearing repack on our Grand Design Imagine XLS MKE 17. And this is not a how to do it program. This is not a how to do it because I'm not an expert. This is how I did it. This is my experience, and that's what I'm sharing with you today. But you'll be able to see what I experienced and what I found when I took the wheels off and all that. And yeah, should be an interesting experience. Never done this before. Always paid to do it. So with that being said, let's get to it.
So with any job, the best place to start is with the tools that you're going to need. You're definitely going to want gloves to protect your hands from the grease. Of course, a grease gun with grease, needle nose pliers, and a standard screwdriver, a seal puller, a can of brake cleaner, shop towels. Now I used a basic tire wrench to pull off the lug nuts, a soft hammer, seals for the back side of the wheel, and a seal setter set. I found this to be well worth the price that you have to pay for it. I anticipated needing cotter pins, but I actually didn't need them after all. A torque wrench with socket set. Of course, a way to jack up the axle on the trailer, and a jack stand. This job starts by breaking loose the lug nuts on your wheel. Do it before you jack up the wheel, and I use the X wrench to do that with. Set the height of the jack stand so that the wheel would rotate freely once it was up. Positioning the bottle jack is very important. I put it between the two U-bolts that hold on the leaf springs. That helps to keep it from slipping off, I think. There we go. Now, this should be tall enough. Very good. Next, we remove the lug nuts and take off the wheel. I place all my loose parts on a workbench so I know exactly where they're going to be. Use a standard screwdriver just to kind of get in there and pop off the dust cover. Do this very gently. This is where I was expecting a castle nut along with a cotter pin, but that's not what I found. It was a regular nut and held on by a clip. Very gently remove the clip using a standard screwdriver. I want to be careful not to deform the clip at all. Once again, I want to lay out all my parts on the workbench so they're in the order that they came off, so that I know the order to put them back. This is the part where we want to put on the rubber gloves. Yep, want to stay safe and keep that grease off of our skin. Don't want to absorb any carcinogens. The outer nut should be hand tight, but sometimes it needs just a little help getting it started. And that's what the channel locks are for, which I needed instead of the needle nose pliers. Once started, it could unscrew very easily. Once again, we lay it down in the proper order on the workbench. Now here is the trickiest part of the procedure. As you start to remove the hub, the washer and outer bearing will pop out. You have to be very cautious. You don't want that bearing falling and hitting the ground. They're very fragile, and you don't want to get any nicks on the bearings, and you don't want to get any dirt in them either. As we examine it, you can see that the grease is not too bad. I probably could have gotten a few more trips out of it, but we're still doing this at a good time. Before I go any further, I take it over and lay it out on the bench. Next, we pull off the rotor and we place it inside the wheel so that it will be very stable as I work on it. Now, this is probably the toughest part of the job, is popping out the seal with the seal puller. Had to brace it with my feet and give the seal puller a couple of taps to get it started. You only use these seals once. Once pulled, just toss it in the trash. Take a look at it. We can see that the grease is not too badly burned out, just slightly blackened. And of course, to keep everything in order, we lay it out on the table with everything else. Now we take a shop cloth and we just kind of clean off some of the other parts to take a look at them, clean off all the extra grease. Do the washer and then the nut. Then I'm going to spray some of the brake clean on the bearings. I'm going to inspect them as I clean them. And what I'm looking for is any chips or nicks in them. Make sure they're all smooth. I'm going to watch for any bluing of the metal. That would indicate that they were overheating. And I don't really see anything to be concerned about. They look very good. We just had them replaced last year, so they're still in good condition. And while I'm still in the cleaning mode, we're going to clean the inside of the hub. Spray the brake clean in there and take a shop towel and clean out all the gunk from the brakes, all that brake dust. And you don't want to inhale this. This would be really bad to inhale, so keep your head far away, maybe even wear a mask. I was outside, so I wasn't too worried about it. Then I'll take a shop towel and clean out the race. Get all the old grease out of there. And I'll flip it over and do the race on the other side as well, making sure I get as much of that old grease out of there as I can. Lastly, I want to wipe off all the old grease from the spindle. And we're just going to wipe off the spindle. Now it's time to actually do the repacking of the grease in the bearings. You can do it two ways. There's the hand packer, which I chose not to use. This is going to go on there like that. And this screws down over the top of it. Actually, it was much less expensive and much easier to use, in my opinion. Just put the bearing in there and screw it down so it's nice and snug. Hook up the grease gun onto the Zerk fitting. As you pump in the new grease using the grease gun, the old stuff that is still in amongst the rollers will be pushed out. I know it's kind of hard to see, but if you look closely, you can see the black edges of the old grease. Unscrew the top and remove the bearing. Then I take the bearing and smooth that grease all around it, make sure it's completely covered. And then repeat the process with the other bearing. There it is. And again, after pumping, pull the bearing out and just kind of spread that grease around. Make sure everything is covered well. While I have everything disassembled, we're going to take a look at the spindle here, where it has the Zerk fitting on the front and the exit hole in the back where you can push grease through while the tire's still on. Put grease in here like that with the wheel still on. I can put grease in there and it'll push more grease in there. That's not the best way. That doesn't really pack your bearings. That's only in a stopgap measure. If you can't get them off, you want to add a little more grease to it. And you don't ever use a grease gun. You only use it with a regular hand pump gun. Okay. I'm going to take a little grease out of the gun right now, and we're going to apply grease around the spindle. Put some grease back on here. And we're going to apply that to the race on the hub, on the inside and on the outside as well. Make sure it's well greased in there. And now it's time to put everything back together. I'm going to take the inside bearing and bring it over and set it inside the race. and we're going to go get a new seal. These are made by Timken, and Timken is a company right here in Keene, but I think these were probably made in Korea. We're going to take that grease seal and put it down on the back of the hub there where the axle goes through, and front on top of our bearing. Make sure it goes in nice and even, sits there nice and even. Then we're going to take our seal setter, which I found to be very useful and helpful, well worth the money that I spent on it. I'm going to tap that seal down in there using the seal setter. This helps to apply pressure to the seal evenly all around at the same time. You want the diameter of the setter to be just a little bit wider than the seal so that it'll sit flush with the hub there. You rub your finger along there, make sure everything is nice and flush, nothing sticking out, nice and even. Yep, exactly what we want. Now we can put the hub back on to the spindle. Next we put the outer bearing into the hub along with the washer, and there's a flat side on the spindle so that the washer only goes on one way. It might take a little bit to get it in there, might have to wiggle the hub around a little bit, but it will eventually slide in. And of course the washer goes over the top of it. Next we take the nut and put that on the spindle. Take it down hand tight. Once it's hand tight, we're going to then take the channel locks and tighten it down really snug. That helps to make everything sit well in there, seats it well. Then we're going to back it off and just make sure it's snug in there, hand tight. To keep that nut on there, we're going to put the clip back on, and remember there's that little divot that sits there, goes against the flat side of the spindle. You have this little divot here, or this little out. It goes right up against this flat side of the spindle. It only goes on one way, and once it clips on, everything's good. And don't forget to put the dust cover back on after you get everything else put together. And the rest is very simple. Just get your wheel back on, add your lug nuts onto the bolts. Some people might use an impact hammer. I'm just using my X-wrench. That was as convenient and inexpensive as I could go. Tighten them down as best as I can. Put the trailer down, I have to jack it up to get it off of the jack stand. And then we can lower it till the tire's on the ground. Now we can tighten these bolts down. Left top, right top. Left bottom. Very top, right bottom. Always alternate sides. And of course, we're going to torque them down. You hear that click?
Yes.
That means it's reached 90 pounds. Okay, that's how you repack the bearings on a MKE 17. You know, Grand Design, Imagine XLS. At least that's how I did. So, thanks for watching, and I hope this was helpful. If it was, give us a like, and we'll see you on the next video. Until then, we'll see you on the streets.